Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the solar system series known as Up in the Air, where we talk about the air signs up in the air. So, let's break this down, right? So, we're talking about Mercury in Gemini. So, Mercury in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini. Alright, so, what is Mercury? Mercury is the planet of thinking and communication, and it both rules the signs known as Mercury and Virgo. And if we know not Mercury and Virgo, Gemini and Virgo. And if we know anything about these signs, they're very detail-oriented, thought-based, very quick, light on their feet. You know, some are very adaptable to, just general thinking and communication. Some are very adaptable to, freaking thinking and practicality, which is, on the earth side of things, which is Virgo. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's talk a little bit more about the sign that we have on deck today, which is Mercury in Gemini. Gemini is the sign of mutable air, which means it's adaptable and changeable to different ways of thinking and communication. So, with this being in its planet of rulership of Mercury, what kind of happens here? It is literally a thought fest that can go any which way you want, any way possible, do anything, do any situation. Just like, your mind's just going 10,000 miles an hour, shit you may be thinking too much at times, you know what I'm saying? And with this sign being in its planet of rulership, it really can go wherever it wants, and you kind of have to do more work into learning about just like how you think for yourself, because it's kind of like a engine, a gust of wind that just can go anywhere at any time. Let's take you going through the drive-thru, for example, right? Say you're going through the drive-thru, right? You're getting your 20 piece of McNuggets, you're rolling through McDonald's, and they ask you the question of what kind of sauce you want. And then you don't know what kind of sauce you have, so you say, what are your options, And then basically they tell you, you got ranch, tangy barbecue, sweet and sour, ketchup, mayo. Shit, I mean, at the brief period of time when there was a bunch of Rick and Morty going on, you had the freaking Szechuan sauce. But, shit, I don't know any other sauces like that. But if they were to tell this to a Mercury and Gemini person, what would this Mercury and Gemini person think? Oh, God, you better, you better hope they don't ask what kind of freaking ingredients are in the freaking dipping sauce and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they ask that question, that's just the hope. It's a whole other boatload of level of probability to what they can possibly ask, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, god damn, fuck, don't let them freaking say any of that. Like, what? Oh, God, because then you're just going down a boatload that you don't want to know, because they will literally go down this to the end. First they got to figure out which type of sauce they want, which could go. That could be a thought, that could be thought number freaking, say, 1 to fucking 30. Thought 1 to fucking 30, it'd be like, oh, okay, I want mayo. Oh, okay, I want ranch. Oh, okay, I want this. No, this goes good. Because what if the nuggets are, what if they just come out of the fryer? Because then they taste like this, and this. Oh, okay, what if they've been out of the fryer for about 10 minutes and they're a little soggy, but at the same time they're a little hard and it's a little crunchy soft, and you don't really know which one to get? That may go best with ranch for me. Does it go way best with ranch for me? No, I don't think it does. It might go way best a lot better with friggin' tangy barbecue. And I may be sounding like a motor mouth a little bit, but when you imagine this in their head, your head isn't limited by freaking stuttering, The only time it's limited by stuttering for Mercury and Gemini is if it's not interested and it needs to think fast in the time that it actually doesn't want to think fast, you know what I'm saying? And you can tell this type of shit because the common factor through all signs in Gemini is if they are interested in something, it'll seem like they're freaking 5 to 7 different people, but they're really just engaging with 5 to 7 different aspects of their personality or thought, thought capacities. Because the way sort of Gemini's sort of work is they have this categorizing ability, or they can, well, I shouldn't say they have it, I should say they can engage with it, because the way Gemini works and all the mutable signs works is it can borrow aspects of the fixed and cardinal signs of their own element, you know what I'm saying? So they can do a bunch of crazy shit with it. It's just you just gotta know when to pick. And that's the thing, because it's mutable air. It's literally a gust going in circles, zigzags, triangles, whatever shape you want. It goes anywhere that you want. And that's just the fact of life with this sign. Like they're very good at like adapting their mind to different aspects of like any perspective or situation. But if we take it back to the whole freaking dipping sauce signs, if you let that mind run wild into something that you just shouldn't let them run into, like they will like run down all the possible scenarios of how these nuggets could come out. They'll run down all the possible scenarios of which sauce goes best with which, if they are, you know, a connoisseur and really interested in this, you know, in this freaking food at that time. And like if they really want to go that deep, they will go all the way into the freaking ingredients list. And it's just like, yo, what? Why do you need to go that far? Like they will literally, like, oh my god, you will have to shut them up to be like, yo, stop doing this, stop doing this, stop getting into that, stop getting into that. No, why are you still thinking about this? I don't need you to get into that. And like they won't take it personally at all, depending on what their sun and moon sign is, unless they're a water sign, because then it'll, you know, they have the like with a Mercury in Gemini, you have the possibility of getting into one water sign, which is Cancer, because, you know, when your sun is in one placement, there are only 3 possible placements for your Mercury sign. So for instance, the only possible Mercury in Gemini signs would be, what is it, Taurus, Gemini itself, and Cancer. Oh god, if you're a freaking sun in Gemini and a Mercury in Gemini, you're just going crazy, man. You might be another person another day for all we know. But yeah, anyways, not to bounce around too much, you know, kind of when I start talking about these, I sort of catch the vibe of these signs, you know what I'm saying? But like with this whole Mercury and Gemini thing, these people are very good once they can get, if they need an external form of focus to focus them, unless they have some Taurus placements, you know what I'm saying? Usually the way the universe works is it will balance you out with other freaking like stabilizing placements if you're like, you know, a balanced person, but that's dependent on you. Anyways, these people are very good, if you can get them to focus on one thing, about categorizing like certain aspects of people and their mentalities, you know? So it's just like, if you do end up working with these person, they may be like line testers and line pushers and bouncing around from a bunch of different things, but they know where and when to stop when you have a hard line on something, and they will either find a way to work around it or find a way to just like, you know, they might just disappear on you. Mercury and Geminis they're very good at picking up on these things. They just may not seem like it because their mind is going so many places. But don't think when an actual experience kicks in, you know, like that they don't like learn that thought, because or they don't like learn about that experience and like they don't like solidify it in their brain, because, you know, to some degree they recognize that reality is important. They just don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So they'll just bounce around and act like they don't care, and they'll seem like they're airheads, where they are to some extent. But don't let that stop you from them, like, you know, being don't let that stop you from them, like, thinking that they're, like, absent-minded and unaware of what's going on. They're just too busy, like, directing their mind towards many, 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 many different perspectives. So they may just get a little crazy at times, but don't think they aren't the keen thinkers that they actually are. They're just, I don't want to say a little unfocused, but for the most part, they're pretty unfocused. You know what I'm saying? Like they are literally, their mind is a walking meme of someone like losing their keys and trying to find them like like trying to find like their car keys, and it's in their freaking, they put in their shoe for some weird reason. They just forgot the mnemonic they created and only repeated once. They're a walking version of that. Anyways, let's run down the basics of it. Okay, so Mercury and Gemini. Mercury is the planet of thinking and communication, and Gemini is the lens of mutable air, which is being adaptable and changeable to different ways of thinking and communication. It's in its sign of rulership. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and it falls in Jupiter. Anyways, peace.